Welcome back to the Zodiac Trial. When we last left off, we were about to decide who we were going to talk to first. And based on the poll in my community tab and surveys from the comments section, there is Ox, Dragon, and Monkey. It appeared Dragon and Monkey were having something of an argument while Ox was mediating the two. I still think we just smashed through the front door. You know, patience is a virtue, Dragon. Your point? What do you think my point is? Your point better not be what I think it is, or I'm going to slug you in your face. Dragon, could you behave yourself for 5 minutes? In response, Dragon stomped viciously on Ox's foot. Ox grabbed his foot and began swearing up a storm. Fuck. Dragon, I feel you have the tendency to resort to violence where it isn't needed. I'll never tell you you're a real shitty doc. Just trying to figure out where it stems from. Why? What's to you? Curiosity? Oh, so you're therapizing me because you're bored. Is that an issue? Responds Dragon stomped viciously on Monkey's foot. Doesn't solve all your problems. On second thought, I decided not to engage with that group. Better talk with someone who wouldn't attack me at the drop of a dime. Okay. So, second place, Tiger Bunny and Rooster. Tiger Bunny and Rooster were huddled together in the center of the cafeteria, discussing the true nature of our imprisonment. You know what? Loving the energy here. Some great ideas, but I think we may be ignoring some possibilities that could use a little, examination. Alright, here's another theory. This is a hazing ceremony. Come again? Think about it. All the clues fit. For one, we're at a school, so that's a point for hazing. A high school. Yeah, kids start with social pressure early nowadays. It's a major problem facing teenage life. High school is even rougher than what it used to be. This poor generation. No wonder they turn now more than ever to the sweet escape of entertainment. Okay, but even if this was a hazing thing, what would be the point of it? Not that I don't think the idea has merit, just trying to workshop a little. What's the point of it? Bunny, you must not have had a lot of fun in college. You're just figuring that out now. One look at him should have told you that. A bit hurtful there. Hazing doesn't have a point, that's the point. But this is a little extreme for a prank, don't you think? I mean, do you even think high school kids would be able to set something like this up? Never underestimate the power of youth. I've done a lot of market research into the teen demo. Organizing something like this? Probably a casual Tuesday. How would they know how to kidnap us? They probably looked it up online. Ah, yes. I get that keeping up with the latest trends can be a little much, but this thing called the internet? Yeah, it's pretty powerful. How old do you think I am? I gotta be honest here, Bunny. Feels like you're not vibing with my hazing theory. Do you have some problem with it? No, not at all. You know what? It's great. You could be totally right. No, you couldn't. Mouse? Bunny, don't humor them. I haven't been listening in long, but even with what little I heard, I can tell you this theory is ridiculous. That's not very open-minded of you. Tiger, how long is it going to take you to realize that this is a serious issue? You have to get real. I am real. Really certain that there's no way this is an actual kidnapping. But in a little sense, it really is. Little schmiddle. What I'm saying is that whatever you think is happening, it's not. Do you really think that this is some dangerous organization would take the time to kidnap a bunch of random strangers and put them in animal masks? Throw them in a school, then go around and call themselves something stupid like the Jade Emperor? That's insane! There's gotta be a better explanation for it. And maybe I haven't found that better explanation yet, but there's gotta be one. Although it would be quite cool if it was a dangerous organization. Okay, now you're not taking this seriously, Rooster. And it really would be like a real-life version of one of my action movies. Exactly. You see, Rooster gets it. See, Tiger's mindset I kind of get. Rooster's just plain old, cloud cuckoo landing. Tiger is too, to an extent, but I can get the, this is really extra. There's no way this is actually real. Sort of denial. Are you sure? Because what he just said sounds pretty different than what you said. We're just having some fun here, Mouse. Don't need to get too worked up. I mean, well... Fine. You know what, Bunny? You're right. Coming up with wild theories of what's going on helps you guys. Go at it. I shouldn't be so concerned about how other people are dealing with this situation. That's the spirit. Though I don't know what's so wild about our ideas. Think she means wildly great? Probably. Well, I'm gonna go check on the others. You guys keep having fun. That I walked away from that group. Okay, they'd be absolutely no help. Better focus on connecting with people who could be useful. However, before I could talk to anyone else, an announcement played over the speakers. Attention, attention, attention to all animals present. Ah, okay. Please take a seat, face the TV, and put on your animal masks. The introduction is about to begin. Introduction? I guess this is what they meant when they said the Jade Emperor will appear. It's just a streamed appearance. Figures. What? Are you fucking serious? What a little bullshit. Come now. At this point, you might as well just go along with it and hear what they have to say. Why do they want us to put on our animal masks, though? Who cares? Let's just do it. Agreed. After a bit of commotion, everyone complied. We all sat in the various seats around the cafeteria and put the animal masks over our heads. Oh. Once everyone had done so, the television flickered on. There before us was the Jade Emperor, leaning back in a chair. Couldn't tell where he was sitting. The room behind him was too dark. However, it seemed like this was a live feed. The Jade Emperor wore a mask which completely covered his face, as well as a green hoodie, jeans, and some gloves. Couldn't help but notice that by his left hand I could see part of a butterfly tattoo sticking out. Welcome, one and all, to the Zodiac Race, rather the Zodiac Trial. I am the host of this event. You may call me the Jade Emperor. You all, if you have not yet realized, will be the 12 Zodiac animals who will compete in my race. I knew it. You might ask why you're all animals. There are a number of good answers to this question, but to put it simply, you all live your lives with the awareness of animals. You go about day to day, without a goddamn care in the world. Peacefully moving onwards, never stopping back to reflect or apologize for your sins. Your murder. Sins? What are you talking about? Don't even pretend you don't know, you filthy, glory-hungry liar. You see, perhaps not all of you know it, but the 12 of you were in the jury of a particular trial. Oh. Of course you weren't the actual jury, I don't blame them. What I mean is that each of you made selfish or stupid choices. Each of you were complicit. Each of you decided to help hang an innocent man for a murder he did not commit. Oh. And this idea you all have, that you get to just walk away from that, and not look at what you have done. Sickening. It's not fair. You all deserve a chance to be punished. You all must be tried. So this is what we are doing today. A Zodiac Trial. A trial? Do you mean to say that there's going to be a case against us or something? Perhaps my word choice has given off the wrong impression. Initially I had an idea more similar to that. However, I think instead we shall settle this with a race. Race fitting for the beasts that you are. What are the rules for this race? Finally, someone is asking the proper questions. Please take a look at this display. As you can see, your 12 animals are lined up on the left, going from the top to bottom in the order that they come up on the calendar. You may also notice that there are 24 spaces between the starting line for the animals and the end of it. The aim of this race is to use the tablets provided to move your animal to the finish line as quickly as possible. So that's what these are for. Before continuing, I think it would be pertinent to address a certain rule you all will likely find important. Each tablet may only be operated by its owner. Additionally, the owner must be alone in a room when using it. If you operate your tablet with another person in the room, or if someone else operates your tablet, you will be instantly executed. What? If someone else operates your tablet, you die. Executed? God damn it. A dismaying but expected announcement. What the fuck? Hey asshole, you think you can kill me that easily? Oh, but I can. Well, you see, each of your necklaces are outfitted with a devious device. Delightfully devious, Skinner. At the mere push of a button, knives at the inside of the collar will come out, cleanly slicing your necks open and leaving you to die. Oh, damn. What does it feel? Knowing that just like yet, you could be executed. Dead. Feel fun? Is it enjoyable for you, scum? So we're gonna die? No, you only push that button if we break your rules, right? There's a bit more to it than that, but you're right that I won't kill you for no reason. There'd be no point to any of this if I was just a senseless murderer. No, I guarantee that if all of you behave appropriately, every single one of you can leave here alive. So what else do we gotta do to survive? The race will consist of 12 rounds. If no animals are able to get to the finish line at the end of the 12th round, all of you will be executed. Every round will last 45 minutes. All participants must take an action within those 45 minutes. If a participant does not take an action during a round, they will be executed. At the end of the round, the animals take their actions in order from the top of the screen to the bottom. Using the tablet, there are a few available actions to choose from. All animals are able to simply run. Choosing to run will move your animal one space forward. You may also choose to use your animal ability. Each animal has their own ability which can help them win this race. Be sure to click the information button to learn what your ability does. Participants are also allowed to confess once per game. If you choose confess, then at the end of the round, when it is your animal's turn, you will be given an opportunity. But use this 1-minute opportunity to give a meaningful confession to me. Afterwards, I will rate the effectiveness of this confession, and your animal may move anywhere from 0 to 5 spaces. What is that ranking judged on? Are you looking for most surprising, worst thing done, most emotionally delivered? What's the deal? I am under no obligation to tell you that. Try it out for yourself if you're so curious. Finally, you can also choose to use an item. Throughout the school, I have hidden some things of practical use as well as items to be used in the race. The physical item will have a passcode on it. Put the passcode into your tablet to use it. Only one participant may use any given item per round. There are a total of 24 items in this school, a minor and major trinket for each animal. All animal minor trinkets are the same. Using it will move you to a number of spaces equal to the number of other animals who used a minor trinket that turn. For example, if you use the mouse minor trinket by yourself, you will move 1 space forward. However, if you use the mouse minor trinket, a friend uses the ox minor trinket, and 2 enemies use the tiger and bunny minor trinkets, you will all move 4 spaces. On the other hand, the major trinkets each have their own effect. You'll have to figure out what they do by finding them yourselves. Even though each animal has a minor and major trinket based on them, they're not exclusive to said animal. So if dog wanted to use pig's minor trinket, that's totally allowed. What a childish game this for us to stake our lives on. Really makes you all seem small in comparison, doesn't it? Anyways, that is the essence of this race. At the end of each round, after all the animals have taken their actions, any animals have made it to the finish line, the race will end. Those at the finish line will have their collars automatically unlock, and everyone else will be executed. No! What, seriously? How you choose to run the race is up to you. Who knows, maybe you'll all make it out alive. if I had to guess, the slowest third will end up dead. Either way, I'll be satisfied. I truly do hope you let your true colors fly. Put up your hearts and think of this as Anubis' feather. You pass peacefully, be devoured. Let judgment fall blindly, wisely. Round 1 begins now. Well, the final confusing message. And with that final confusing message, the speaker cut out, and he left us to panic and squabble on our own. The threat of death now officially loomed over us. Mine went blank. I could feel my face flushing, somehow hot and cold at the same time. Fingers were a jittery mess. It was horrible, scary, nonsensical. When their right mind would dress up like a character from some ancient legend and force people to play some stupid, confusing, arbitrary game with their lives at stake. So weird it was scary. Yeah. Took a deep breath in, and another out. Suddenly it all just flushed through my system. I was still scared and confused deep down. The mind-numbing panic the others were in, I was in a second ago, and had left me. This was my greatest talent, something I inherited from my father. The stakes are high, the chips are down, that's when fear chokes you. I could choose to not feel it. It was a weird thing. It wasn't like I could just choose to not feel any other emotion. But fear? For some reason I had perfect control over it. For now, I had to survey the scene. People were freaking out just like I was. I don't want to die. Please, come on, Mr. Jade Emperor. We can work something out, can't we? Back to the screen, or something. I'm sure we can come to some kind of understanding here. What, do you think you can kill me just because you got some fucking knives in my throat or something? Fuck you! And fuck your whole deal. I will mess you up. Nothing more than a coward hiding behind a fucking desk. This can't be happening. Surely this is some sort of... No, but it can't be a mistake. Things are made abundantly clear. This is how I meet my end. As inelegantly as this. It must be some sort of mistake. No one spoke up. They'd all likely be spinning their wheels for quite a bit. That was time I couldn't afford to waste. Hey, everyone! Everyone needs to quit panicking and take a deep breath. With that, I got everyone's attention. Look, I know this really sucks. It's not like we're doomed or anything. The Emperor himself said that if we keep our cool, all of us can get out of this alive. There's no reason to panic yet. Everyone's gonna be okay. But... Mouse is right. Y'all need to quit moping around. Who's that gonna help, huh? No one. The answer's super simple. One thing we've got to do is cross the finish line at the same time before those 12 rounds. It's as simple as that. Is it really going to be that simple? It's hard to say at the moment. May run into complications. However, Mouse and Tiger are right. We're far from being out of options. Keep cool, it's fairly likely that we can all get out fine. For now, we should all find separate rooms and check out our tablets. Specifically, knowing what everyone's individual abilities are may be useful. Sounds about as good a plan as anything else. Keeping inner peace at difficult times can be a struggle, but we must strive for it. Fine. Now we'll work together. It seems as though the group was able to come to their senses together. Good. Great. With this, things should be fine. There's no reason to panic. We all started walking off to separate rooms. Dragon, Snake, and I walked down the left hallway. Still, who the fuck would want to push me in this bullshit? Wonder, could it be him? Before I could ask what Snake was musing about, he entered the library alone. Oh, Snake knows something. Dragon entered a teacher's office to the left, so I went a little further and found a laboratory. For checking to make sure no one else was in the room with me, I tried turning my tablet on. Oh, sure enough, I was brought to a fairly standard-looking screen. Usefully, the top right actually displayed the time left before the end of the round. There were a number of buttons. Run, act, confess, item. At the top there was an information button. That was what I wanted for now. On it, and it brought me to a separate page. Personality. Clever. What did that mean? Whatever, it was probably some dumb flavored text that this psycho had included. More importantly, I looked at the section titled Mouse Ability. Sneaky ride, huh? I think every turn I could target another animal. And during their action, I would move the same number of spaces in the same direction as them. Guess that could be useful. It seemed like I couldn't do much by myself. At any rate, now that I knew my ability, I decided to return to the cafeteria. It wasn't long before everyone else was gathered, too. So, was everyone able to manage their tablet properly? It's a bit of a trial, I must admit, but it was no match for me. It's a pretty good coding job. It wasn't just thrown together. Whoever made it clearly spent a bit of time on it. What are you talking about? Just a few buttons. It's all ones and zeros. That's, Tiger, I think you're misunderstanding the work coders do. And it's something as simple as creating a clean, well-working UI with nothing but custom code can be a real challenge. Plus, it's apparently connected to this system, which will move our animals around. Without even mentioning how it was modded onto a pre-established tablet. It tends to have a hell of a lot of firewalls to stop stuff like that. It's not like the most amazing invention of all time, but there's definitely a bit of work that went into it. Yeah, no shit. A lot of work also went into kidnapping 12 people and decking a whole school out to be a fucked up killing game. Is this discussion fruitful? Does this bring you joy, Dragon? Surely our time would be better spent discussing the abilities we each possess. It's an excellent point, Monkey. We gotta start talking about that. In fact, I'll start. My ability is called Sneaky Ride. It allows me to choose an animal, and later when that animal moves, I move the same number of spaces. A reference to the original Fable, no doubt. That's a pretty handy ability. I guess, but it's kind of dependent on other people. That's why it's so handy. Perfect example of mirrored play. Mirrored play? A concept that comes up in a lot of places, though most frequently in gambling. As an example, let's say you and Rooster had a little bet going. You two were at a casino. You were competing to see who could win the most money at a roulette table in an hour. I'm down. Rooster, this is just an example. Now let's say with 15 minutes left. Notice you got 45 chips and Rooster has 30 chips. What? I rule at roulette. Why would I be losing? Like Mouse said, it's a hypothetical. Your hypothetical sucks if it involves me losing. Fine, you're at 45 and she's at 30. Happy? Yes, that fits much better. Oh, Rooster. Great, now let's say Mouse bets all over 30 for chips on black. What would you do? Easy, I'd bet 45 chips on red. Why? Because I'm not to be outdone, and red's my favorite color. You sound like you'd be fun to gamble with. But no, the right choice would be to also bet 30 on black. If the roulette ends up on red, she'd be out, and you'd be left with 15. Whereas if the roulette ends up on black, you'd still be leading 90 chips to 60. Yeah, but if you bet 45 on red and it winds up on red, you'd have 90 and stupid Mouse would have nothing. Realize that in the context of the bet, it doesn't matter if you win by 90 or if you win by 15, right? Maybe if you're playing a coward's game. Okay, well, I think Rooster's not going to get it, but I hope the overall point is clear. Yeah. Mirrored play refers to this strategy where if you're in the lead, sometimes your best bet is just to copy what your opponent does. That way they'll never be able to catch up to you. In the context of the race, if Mouse only had one opponent, choosing the lead, its ability would guarantee your victory. Of course, the issue with this strategy, both here and elsewhere, is that other people exist. Not like you can copy all 11 people's moves. If you knew who would move the most spaces each turn, you can guarantee a joint win at least. I see what you mean. Just I don't know how helpful it would be for getting a 12-way joint win. I don't think my ability is going to be any more useful. Got a thing called Stampede. Basically allows me to move to the space behind the animal currently in first place. Doesn't sound that bad if you're way behind. That could move you way further up. Sure, but it never actually lets me actually take the lead. Plus, thanks to the move in order, it always works out so that I After I stampede, the person in first will be able to move again. My ability is super cool. It's called Dive. Must be instantly moved to the nearest river. That you could take an early lead and move 8 spaces forward on the first turn. Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be the most consistent ability. After all, it's the closest river, yeah? I need to move a bit forward a bit before I could use it again if I don't want to jump back to the first river. After I pass the second river, it's completely useless. At least your ability is consistent. Mine's called Lucky Bounce. Moves my animal either 1, 2, or 3 spaces forward at random. At random? It's odd. Why? All the other abilities seem consistent. It's an odd design choice to add a single piece of randomness. Yeah, well, I think it's probably based on the idea of a lucky rabbit's foot. It's pretty useless, though. My ability is pretty kick-ass. At least this Jade fuck had the good sense to let me fuck shit up. I've got Dragon Breath. I can choose any lane to breathe fire on. At the end of the turn, anyone on that lane gets burned. They won't be able to move for the next 3 turns. An offensive ability. Won't be able to move, huh? That means that abilities that don't involve you moving would still be active. Seems like. That might be useful if someone tries to rush to first place. Or if Dragon wanted to rush to first place. Oh, quit your whining, will ya? I might have come across bad, but I'm not some scum who'd sacrifice others to save herself. Just, angry at the fact that I was kidnapped and put in this situation. It's alright, Dragon, we forgive you. Yo, I'm not apologizing for shit. Get that thought out of your head. Just saying I'm not looking to kill anyone today. Fair enough. Well, we'll leave it at that then. Fair enough. Snake, what about you? My turn to divulge my ability, yes? I believe it would be prudent for me to not say it at this moment. What? Snake, are you serious right now? I ask that you trust me, but I say that I doubt it would be of much use in this situation. That's not the point, Snake. We all agreed that we'd share our abilities. As a matter of fact, I don't believe anyone ever said that. Merely that we should all check them and reconvene. By the way, I don't hide my ability for no good reason. I would love for everyone to work together and get out smoothly. I somehow doubt that the Jade Emperor would go through all this if it would be so simple. There's a real chance we'll end up having some among us who betray the group's trust and attempt to win alone. In that case, my ability may be a last-minute tool to prevent such a scenario. However, I must admit, my ability is highly conditional. The potential betrayer knew it ahead of time. They'd easily be able to counteract it. Therefore, for the sake of this group, I believe it best to keep this ability to myself until further notice. Well, that makes sense, I guess. You make a convincing argument, I must admit. I don't like it. Me neither. How do you know anything this fuck said is even just true? Look, if I really had nefarious intentions, I could simply make up an ability of not much use and claim it as my own. Does the fact that I am outwardly withholding my ability not in itself imply I am trustworthy? Seems like some backwards logic to me, but whatever floats your boat. Whatever, we don't have time to go back and forth like this. Can't start doubting each other this early. Snake says he has good reason for withholding his ability. I'm going to trust him. I appreciate that, Mouse. Know that your trust is not misplaced. Well, that's settled. Should I go next? Yeah, go ahead. Got a move called Steady Gallop. Lets me move 3 spaces. That's it? That's it. So I guess it's just a better run then. It's simple. I like it. Would you look at that, buddy? It appears Horse simply got a better version of your ability. Hey, I guess you're right. How unfair is that? Who's balancing this thing? I don't know. Maybe there are situations where it's better for your movements to be random. I struggle to think of such a situation. I don't know if my ability is any good. It's called Sweet Sleep. It does nothing on its own, but it lets me take 2 extra actions next turn. Hey, that could be good. Not exactly a very fast-paced or flashy ability, though. My ability is also conditional. However, I find that it might be of use to the group. It's called Monkey See, Monkey Do. It allows me to use any of the abilities used last turn as if they were my own. Wow, that's really powerful. Basically, you got to use anyone's ability. That's like wicked busted, man. How's an ability fit for a main character, not some supporting role? Am I really a supporting role? You're a therapist. You support people. That's your role. I don't know if it's actually all that powerful. I mean, don't get me wrong, in the right context, it could be great. Only ever going to be useful if other people are using their abilities. Never fire the first shot, as you will. Instead, you're entirely dependent on the actions of others. If things get to a point where most people are using their abilities frequently, you'll be in a powerful position. Hopefully it won't get to that point. Alright, let's get to my ability already. Man, you guys are gonna love this. Seriously, you better start kissing my ass now trying to win me over. Just get on with it. Got a thing called Encouraging Crow. Use any other animal 4 spaces forwards. 4 spaces, huh? That could be pretty good. But you can't use it on yourself, right? Any other people? Yes, well, I imagine people will be begging me to give them their blessing. Huh. Seems to me like out of anyone, you're the one with the most supporting role in all of this. Well, you know what they say. If you shine the brightest, you only shine slightly brighter than everyone else's brightness. We don't have time to try deconstructing that. Dog, could you tell us your ability? Sure thing. Not there's much of anything. Called Rapid Leap. I jump over the closest person in front of me. By jumping, I basically just mirror my position in relation to theirs. Like if someone was 1 space in front of me, I'd move 2 spaces. If someone was 3 spaces in front of me, I'd move 6. Ability's not great unless I'm really far behind. Then again, since I came almost last in the moving order, basically guaranteed 2 spaces at least. That's alright. And should I say what I can do? Sure, go ahead. Okay, so my ability is called Loser's Desperation, for some reason. It's not a very good name, but it's a good ability. I can move 1 space for every person ahead of me, which means I can catch up if I'm far behind. Actually, considering that you could come in last in the animal movements, it's not improbable that you could use it to move 11 spaces. Maybe, but even if I got a lead like that, I can't do anything when I'm ahead. It's worse than just running when I'm in first. That's that then. That's everyone's abilities? What was the point of this exactly? I feel like I was in class or something. It gives us peace of mind and a greater perspective. True, but I don't know if it answered the question. What we should do now. We all need to cross the finish line at the same time, right? It's simple then. Let's all just promise to run every turn. Then we will move at the same rate and finish at the same time. We don't have enough turns to make it to the end. Come on, weren't you listening to the damn rules? Only got 12 turns to cross. There's 24 spaces to move. If we ran each turn, we'd only get halfway there. Oh, that's it then? We're screwed? I mean, if we want to all make it, we have to coordinate the use of our abilities. Calm down, everyone. I'm sure we can come to some kind of solution here. We have a lot of abilities at our disposal. Maybe we could work something out. Curses, we're really being undone by this stupid game. What on earth would put us through something this childish? Actually, I think I might know who the Jade Emperor is. What? What? For real? Seriously? You're not messing with us, are you? So it seems I was not the only one to notice. Wait, Snake, you knew too? Why didn't you say anything earlier? What good would it do? What good? I think I've got the goddamn right to know who's putting us through this bullshit. I don't think talking about it is wise. Well, at this point, I think we're all going to demand to know. Monkey, who do you think it is? To be clear, I'm not certain. However, there's a piece of evidence which strongly leads to this conclusion. Some of you might have noticed the Jade Emperor head would have looked like a part of a butterfly tattoo exposed on his hand. Monkey was right, I had seen that too. Someone I know also has a butterfly tattoo there on his body. This person is disturbed. Someone I've warned about. A patient of mine. Who? Brian Morris. Morris, that last name. No. His mother brought him to me. She asked me to try to help him control his violent streak. Ever since his father was executed, he's been struggling. I tried, I swear. I tried everything I had. I knew to try to help him, but it would only make him angrier. Recently, he even stopped coming to the sessions. I told his mother about this. Warned her that her son might have some serious issues. Never thought it'd amount to something like this. Morris, huh? Now things are starting to come together. Was the executed? Oh, no, this can't be the same guy. Yo, what the fuck are you people talking about? Y'all know this punk? What's going on? Brian Morris, son of Aaron Morris, son of the man arrested and executed for the cold-blooded murder of his employer, Amadeus Bowen. Amadeus Bowen was a huge deal. He was the CEO of a major entertainment company. How many people were more importance in our city than the chief of police, Oliver Bowen? His brother Amadeus was one of them. His murder shocked the community, made national news. A heroic and beloved public figure had been murdered in his own office. Aaron Morris was arrested the next day. The man claimed he was innocent. He swore it across his heart and hoped to die. The case against him told a different story. Bowen's body was hidden in his personal safe, so discovering it took longer than expected. Once it was found, the time of death was quickly determined. It wasn't an exact time, but it gave a reasonable range. The only person to have entered the victim's office during that time frame was Morris, as numerous eyewitnesses would attest. And Bowen's death wasn't something that could be done remotely. Strangled, bludgeoned to death, stuffed in a safe. Also weren't any secret entrances into the office, nor was it possible for someone to have been hiding in the office the whole time. That wasn't proof enough. The weapon used to bludgeon Bowen was found disposed of in a river. Awfully close to Morris's house. So while much of the money that had been taken from Bowen's safe was never recovered, a stack of bills with Bowen's fingerprints was found in the glove box of Morris's car. Speaking of fingerprints, Morris's were recovered at the inside of the safe, a place Morris had no place in looking. More and more evidence kept coming out and stacking up against Morris. This evidence, and yet my father decided to defend him in court. Father legitimately believed in Morris's innocence. He began to prepare his defense based on the fact that the footage from the security cameras of the building had been erased. Digital logs showed that someone used Bowen's MasterCard to enter the security room and tamper with the technology before Morris ever met with Bowen. This defense came crumbling down when it was revealed that the night before the murder, Bowen and Morris had gone drinking at a bar. The bartender testified that at some point during the night, Bowen dropped his wallet on the floor. After the two left, Morris came back in to return the wallet to Bowen. Next morning, Bowen's security secretary testified that Bowen's MasterCard was missing from his wallet. Police determined that the bar trip was the only reasonable time that the MasterCard could have been taken. The biggest point for my father's defense suddenly turned to a damning story for the prosecution. Still, my father fought valiantly in the courtroom for Morris's innocence, argued every possible point of uncertainty, hammered on about how it was all circumstantial, pleaded the jury to understand the meaning of reasonable doubt. In the end, it wasn't enough. Morris was found guilty, and the judge gave him the death penalty due to a complete lack of remorse. Father died of illness a few years later, around the time that Morris was finally executed. He said he lived a good life on the whole, a life he was proud of. In that hospital bed, he mentioned to me that one of his few regrets was being unable to save Aaron Morris. In the end, despite the overwhelming flood of evidence to the contrary, Father still believed in his client, like a good lawyer should. Now his son Brian, who should have been a senior in high school, was going out of his way to take revenge? To avenge his father? That's what this was? Fuck this! Mouse, what's going on? Seriously, this is revenge for your dad's execution? Kate never being able to accept that your father was very obviously a murderer. Why the hell would you take it out on us? Even as a criminal, your dad clearly wanted the best for you in life. Why would you throw all that away for a half-baked revenge plot where you couldn't even hide your identity for a handful of minutes? Why would you take it out on me? What, are you angry that my father wasn't able to get your dad off the hook for his very obvious murder? My father truly believed in your dad's innocence and did everything he could to try to help him. Who are you talking to, Mouse? I assume you're expecting Morris to be listening. Now you're gonna take that out on me? That's bullshit, and you know it, Brian. Whoa, Mouse, I know you're angry, but calm down. No, she's right to get angry. I'm fucking pissed as well. What the hell did I do in any of this? I've got no idea who this Morris punk is at all. There's no reason I should be here. It's completely ridiculous. Right, it's really unfair. I mean, seriously, what did I do to deserve this? Like, maybe I put out an article or two on the trial, but it wasn't anything unfair. And tons of people put out articles. It was a big event. Why single out me? Well, I know why I'm here. I testified against his father at trial. I was in the building at the time of the murder. Bowen had discussed interest in purchasing one of my statues for his office. I came to bring it to him. I was in the waiting room for a dreadfully long time. In that waiting room, I was witness able to conclusively say that the only person who entered Bowen's office during the time frame of his death was Aaron Morris. Oh. I was witness to that trial too. Maybe that's why I thought I recognized you. Oh, really? Yeah, I was also around the time Morris was killed. He was going to discuss me doing some advertising for him. I thought an Olympian would be a good face to sell their stuff, I guess. Anyways, I talked about how I saw him carry the murder weapon. Mr. Money probably was what stopped that creep from weaseling out of it. I also testified I was Mr. Bowen's secretary at the time. I also could talk about who entered his office. I was also the one who gave Morris up as a suspect to the police when they were interrogating me. I'm the reason he got arrested in the first place. Oh, wow. My construction company was doing some work on a nearby building that day. I think I mentioned something to the police about when I saw Morris drive off. There's nothing big, though. I was never called to court or anything. I wonder why it should have been big enough deal to land me here. Here's you're the same boat as me, my friend. This Brian punk seems to really not like people saying what they saw to the police. Is that really such a crime? I went to Bowen to discuss the possibility of investing in one of my films, and I saw Morris pass by in the hallway. Is that really such a crime? I was never even brought into court. Wow, we were all there coincidentally on that day. A shame too, because I was willing to give the performance of a lifetime to catch that devious crook. I already mentioned how I'm connected to Brian. If I was a better therapist, I would have been able to lead him away from the path of revenge, not towards it. I've seen the kid around a few times. Maybe I could have talked some sense into him, too. You knew Brian, dog? Knew is a strong word. Like I said, I've seen him around. How were you brought into this? Easy. I run the bar where Morris filched the MasterCard from Bowen. Testimony of mine really shattered the defense's arguments. And I thank you for that. Ox? I'm a prosecutor. For some reason or another, in one of my first cases I ended up helping in the prosecution of Morris. Wow. Doesn't make sense why they'd have someone who was so wet behind the ears help with such a high-profile, high-stakes case. It does make sense why Brian would target me. I was very good at helping that prosecution. And it also makes sense why he would target me. After all, I was the one who arrested his dad. Well, wait, buddy, you're a cop? Guilty as charged. Wow, damn. Gave you the wrong animal, big time. I was almost certain I recognized a number of you. This would explain why. Honestly, I should have caught on sooner. Guess I was just too distracted by the insanity of it all. Gotta say though, while I'm honored Brian decided to choose me, his choice of targets confuses me a bit. You do give me... In hindsight, dog, you do give me bartender vibes. Some of these make sense, but for a bunch of you people, there were surely better targets. Dog's totally right. Like, take the judge, for instance. There are a bunch of people who said that him applying the death penalty for a single murder was unnecessary. Been accused of... Uh, Oh, you just cut me off. Well, that's rude, Rooster. Especially considering there was... Oh, who cares about any of that? Kid's a complete nutcase, through and through. Dastard and a dollar. Hey now. Try to psychoanalyze the comings and goings of the psycho with a head case, you will usually end up as crazy as them. We're really arguing now. To credit the insensitive to say, hey, I think it's a greater discussion about how we talk about mental illness to be had here, but his bigger point was right. He's just been going on and on about why we're here, but that's not going to help us get out. We need to focus on the current problems and can save worrying about all that other stuff for later. Bunny's right. The issue we had before getting completely sidetracked was how we're all going to be able to cross the finish line at the same time. We have a lot of abilities, right? I think there should probably be some way we could combine them and let us get to the other side fast. That seems to be a recipe for disaster. Any solution found would be a complex, multi-step process with much room for error. Betrayal. Why does anyone get out of betraying here? Why do you all keep getting hung up on that? I think Monkey would be right about the complexity part. There's a much simpler solution. We should prioritize on that. Hey, simpler solution? What is it? Do you recall what Brian said about items? Specifically the minor trinkets? I understand what you're saying. You do? There are 12 minor trinkets, and their movement is equal to the number of people using them. If we're able to find all 12, we'd be able to cross the finish line as a group in 2 rounds. Great idea, Horse. Now we got a clear game plan that'll let us all get out of here alive. With this, we can all be saved, right? Even if we don't find all 12, even if we just find like half of them. We can use them to get out in like 4 or 5 rounds. Thank God, I was getting worried there for a second. Would it really be that simple, though? What do you mean? Nothing much. I'm merely pointing out the fact that the solution is, well, rather basic. No offense intended, but a child could have worked it out. I question the point of all this work if it were to be solved so simply. What's your problem, Snake? Why do you have to be such a downer? I'm not being a downer, merely pointing out a particular oddity. Do you have a better idea? No, I'm not dismissing the plan. What are you doing? Raising a thought? So, jack shit is the answer then. That's right, though. Things be this simple? Hey, what if the minor trinkets are super duper hidden? Like there's no guarantee that we'll actually be able to find them all. Things could all fall apart. Calm down, would you? Like Horse pointed out, with the trinkets, it would only take 2 rounds to finish the race. We have plenty of time to search, and this school isn't all that large. Let's first try to find all the minor trinkets. Meantime, I suggest anyone concerned think of a backup plan. Sounds like a plan. We start looking then? Olympian, cop. Actually, we should make a move. Been talking for a while now, and round 1 is almost over. I looked over at a nearby clock and found that Bunny was absolutely right. Good catch, Bunny. Everyone split up and just click the run button, okay? Come back here, watch the animals move, and then we'll start our search. Alright, let's do it. With a discernible game plan formed, everyone split up with a sense of purpose. It certainly felt like we had a real chance of pulling this off. Snake was right to bring up his concerns. He was burdened with a general sense of unease. A palpable sense of anger at Brian. How ungrateful could you be? Ridiculous. No, I couldn't think about that now. I wouldn't say ungrateful. I'd say more general bitterness. Especially if the whole trial came off like the whole justice system was weighted against his dad. That would make sense why he would loop in witnesses and prosecution. Certainly a lot to be said about that being kind of unfair and suspiciously weighted against his dad there, but need to focus on moving forwards. Turn on my tablet and press the run button. There, done. I move input. I went back to the cafeteria. The others gathered. Everyone just ran, right? No one tried any tricky shit? Please. There'd be absolutely no point in that at this stage of the game. But I suppose Pig might panic and hope for an early 11-space lead. Why did I ever do that? Settle down, would you? It'll all be confirmed in just a second. Just as Ox said, the speakers turned on a few moments later. Round 1 has ended. Now let us see how the race has progressed. The rat has run 1 space. The ox has run 1 space. The tiger has run 1 space. The bunny has run 1 space. The dragon has run 1 space. The snake has run 1 space. The horse has run 1 space. The sheep has run 1 space. The monkey has run 1 space. The rooster has run 1 space. The dog has run 1 space. Is the pig has run 1 space. Oh, okay. Now, round 2 has begun. Do your best and choose wisely. I felt myself breathe a sigh of relief looking at those results. Of course, I didn't actually think anyone would disobey the plan. I couldn't help worrying. Great work, team! We did it! Yay! Hooray, yes, we all pressed a fucking button. Good job, us. It is a fairly basic achievement, but we should still appreciate it. No, we should start looking for minor trinkets. Round 2 has already started. Quite right. It'd be best to split up and search as much area as possible. I'll search over down the right corridor of this first floor. You will? Let me be of assistance. You wish to search with me? 2 finders are better than 1, right? You aren't wrong. Sure, you can come along with me. I want to check out the training room I saw on my way here. Looks interesting. There might be a trinket there. If that's the case, can I come along with you? I'm so nervous about the threats in this school, so I want to stick with someone strong. I have no issue with it. Thank you. I'm interested in looking around the library. Mouse, would you care to join me in my search? Did I care to join him? Who to search with? This seems like a good point to save the game, come back next time, and let you decide what we should do now. I might post this poll early with no context, and keep it going until like Wednesday, where you will have context then. So, do we go with ox? We already have some knowledge of. Do we go with horse and sheep? Do we go with snake and rooster? I know what I would choose. What would you choose? Let me know. Use the link in the description to vote. And when we return, we'll figure out where we're going next. Until then.